Yellowstone National Park, a place of wild beauty, also whispers secrets of the vanished. In its vast expanse of wilderness, some have stepped into its embrace, only to disappear without a trace. These unsolved mysteries linger in the shadows of towering pines and misty geysers, where the line between natural wonder and eerie unknown is hauntingly thin. Join us as we delve into the heart of this majestic park, uncovering the tales of those who ventured into its depths, never to be seen again. September 6, 2010, dawned like any other day in the quiet suburb of Burtonsville, Maryland. Stuart Isaac, a 48-year-old man from the serene islands of Palau, found himself amid a life far removed from his island roots. In the comfort of his home, surrounded by the familiar faces of his family, Stuart seemed like a man at peace. Yet beneath the surface, an inexplicable restlessness stirred. That morning, Stuart moved with an unusual urgency. His family noticed him packing a bag, an odd sight given his usual routine. Stuart was a man of habit, not known for impromptu decisions or adventures into the unknown. Yet he was placing a few belongings into his car, a black 2009 Lexus IS 250. It was an ordinary car about to embark on an extraordinary journey. Before leaving, Stuart left a note for his family. It was brief, devoid of his usual warmth. Going on a cross-country trip, it read. There was no explanation, no detailed plans, just a vague announcement that left more questions than answers. His puzzled family watched Stuart drive away, his car disappearing into the distance, taking with it a part of their lives that would never return. The drive to Yellowstone National Park was long and solitary. For 32 hours, Stuart traversed highways and back roads, passing through landscapes that contrasted starkly with his suburban life. The scenic beauty of Yellowstone awaited him, but his mind was clouded, lost in a maze of thoughts that no one else could navigate. Upon his arrival at Yellowstone, the vast wilderness greeted him. Majestic geysers, towering mountains, and sprawling forests, the park was a testament to nature's grandeur. For many, Yellowstone was a place of escape, an oasis of tranquility. For Stuart, it felt different. The park's expanse mirrored the vastness of his unspoken thoughts. September 24th brought a peculiar turn. Stuart called an old high school friend, Matsu, living far away in Guam. They hadn't spoken in years, but here he was, reaching out in the early hours, his voice carrying a weight that words could not convey. They spoke for 2 hours, but the content of that conversation remained a mystery, a private exchange lost in the echoes of the park. 2 days later, on September 26th, Stuart's journey took an inexplicable turn. His car was found at Craig Pass, an isolated spot in the park known for its elevation and lack of trails. The car was abandoned, unlocked, with keys still in the ignition, as if Stuart had stepped out for a moment and vanished into the wilderness. Back in Maryland, Stuart's family grappled with his sudden absence. Confusion and worry gnawed at them as days turned into weeks, with no word from him. The home that once resonated with his presence now echoed with his absence. An extensive search ensued, combing through the rugged terrain of Yellowstone, but no trace of Stuart was found. The man who had left Burtonsville searching for something undefinable had disappeared, leaving a trail of unanswered questions. The mystery of Stuart Isaac's disappearance lingered in the years that followed. His family, friends, and even strangers who heard of his story pondered over the unanswered questions. What drove a seemingly content man to embark on a journey without return? What did he seek in the vastness of Yellowstone? Like Stuart himself, the answers remained elusive, lost in the whispering winds of the park's endless forests. On a brisk spring morning in 1991, Daniel Campbell, known to his friends as Dan, found himself at a crossroads in life. A 42-year-old resident of Big Timber, Montana, Dan had the rugged, weathered look of a man accustomed to the outdoors. His life, marked by a series of unwise choices, had led him to a moment of desperate decision-making. Financially strained and seeking a way out, he turned to the wilderness he knew so well for a solution. Though fraught with legal risks, Dan's plan seemed straightforward. He would venture into Yellowstone National Park to hunt for elk antlers. Despite the illegality of this act in the park, Dan, an experienced outdoorsman with notable survival skills, felt confident in his abilities. He had previously marked a trail through the challenging terrain of the Hell-Roaring Trail area, intending to return and collect the valuable antlers. April 6 dawned with the promise of adventure as Dan set off from the Hell-Roaring Trailhead, accompanied by his loyal Australian shepherd, Freckles, and carrying a backpack filled with supplies for their 2-day hike. He felt a familiar thrill. The plan was to hike from Hell-Roaring to Jardine, Montana, picking up the hidden antlers. His girlfriend was to meet him in Jardine on April 8th, a detail that underscored the precise nature of his plan. The Hell-Roaring Trail was a path less traveled, a place where the wild heart of Yellowstone beat strongest. As Dan and Freckles embarked on their journey, the landscape unfolded in rugged splendor. Towering trees, the distant peaks, and the untamed rivers formed a backdrop that had always felt like home to Dan. However, unknown to Dan, his venture coincided with a sudden and severe spring snowstorm, transforming the landscape into a treacherous maze. The wilderness he knew so well became an unforgiving expanse, obscuring paths and landmarks under a blanket of white. When April 8th arrived and Dan did not appear in Jardine, concern quickly escalated into alarm. His girlfriend, fraught with worry, reported him missing, triggering a search operation that would soon reveal the complex layers of Dan's journey. The discovery that he had been antler hunting added a layer of urgency and illegality to the search. Well aware of the risks associated with this illicit activity, park rangers and law enforcement intensified their efforts. Days turned into weeks, and the extensive search by ground teams and air support yielded no trace of Dan or Freckles. The vast expanse of Yellowstone, coupled with the inclement weather, made the search daunting. The puzzling absence of any sign of Dan or his belongings deepened the mystery. Dan's family, particularly his 3 brothers, became increasingly involved in the search, their concern growing into frustration as days passed without any leads. The lack of evidence, the unanswered questions about the gunshots heard by other hikers, and the discovery of a suspicious campsite only added layers of complexity to the case. The possibility of foul play began to take root in the minds of Dan's loved ones. The untested confiscated camping gear, the ammunition, and the rumors of altercations in the woods all pointed to a narrative far more sinister than a mere disappearance. Yet without concrete evidence, law enforcement maintained the classification of the case as a missing person. Years passed, and the mystery of Dan Campbell's disappearance remained unsolved, leaving a lingering sense of loss and unresolved questions. The rugged trails of Yellowstone held their secrets close, and for Dan's family, the ache of not knowing what happened on that fateful spring day in 1991 endured. In the heart of Yellowstone, where the Hell-Roaring Creek meets the Yellowstone River, the forest silence seemed to echo with the untold story of Dan Campbell and Freckles. Their tale of adventure turned tragedy became a haunting reminder of nature's unpredictability and the profound impact of a single decision. On a brisk morning in April 1966, the Johnson family, filled with anticipation, embarked on a journey to Yellowstone National Park. Dennis Eugene Johnson, fondly called Denny by his family, was the youngest at 8 years old. He has sandy blonde hair that glinted in the sunlight, brown eyes reflecting a world of curiosity, and a notable scar across his abdomen, a mark of his bravery from a childhood adventure. Denny, his parents, and his older sister traveled from their home in Yokern, California, to Yellowstone's vast, unspoiled expanses. Though the family was not strangers to outdoor excursions, they felt a different air of excitement about this trip. With its geysers, wildlife, and endless skies, Yellowstone was where nature whispered ancient tales. On April 12th, the Johnsons found themselves at the Cascade Picnic Area, a serene spot a quarter-mile north of Canyon Junction. The area, surrounded by towering pines and the gentle murmur of the nearby river, was the perfect backdrop for their family outing. Denny felt a sense of freedom in his dark red long-sleeve shirt and tan Levi's. His size 8 laced moccasin-type hiking boots crunched over the underbrush as he explored the area around the picnic spot. The family laid out their picnic, laughter mingling with the rustling leaves. But this idyllic scene was soon disrupted. Denny's sister, playful and unaware of the park's vastness, wandered off. Panic set in as her absence was noticed. Denny, ever the protective younger brother, immediately alerted his parents. Knowing his son's familiarity with the outdoors from their hunting trips in California, Denny's father decided they should split up to cover more ground. Denny set off in one direction with a nod of understanding, while his father went in another. The boy's confidence in his abilities was evident in his stride as he disappeared into the thickets. Hours passed and Denny's sister was found, but there was no sign of Denny. The family's calls for him echoed unanswered through the trees. As the sunlight faded, hope turned to despair. The park rangers were alerted and a search began. The search party scoured the area for the next 2 weeks, traversing the rugged landscapes of Yellowstone. They called out for Denny, hoping against hope for a response. They combed through the forest for any sign, a footprint, a piece of clothing, but the wilderness kept its secrets. Denny had vanished without a trace, his disappearance shrouded in mystery. Back at the picnic area, the remnants of their meal lay untouched, a stark reminder of the day's tragic turn. Denny's mother clutched his jacket, tears streaming down her face as she whispered his name into the wilderness. His stoic yet visibly shaken father coordinated with the search teams, refusing to leave the park without his son. Denny's sister, young and bewildered, clung to her parents, her eyes searching the woods for her brother. As days turned into weeks, hope dwindled. The possibility that Denny might have been picked up by a passing vehicle was considered, but with no leads or sightings, it remained a theory. The Johnson family returned home to California, their hearts heavy with the unresolved fate of their son. The story of Denny's disappearance spread through the community, a sad reminder of nature's unpredictability. His family held on to the memories of their bright, adventurous boy, hoping for answers that never came. Years passed, and the mystery of what happened to Denny in the vast wilderness of Yellowstone National Park remained unsolved. It lingered as a poignant tale of a family's loss, a young boy's unexplained disappearance, and the unforgiving nature of the wild. In the summer of 1900, Yellowstone's Fountain Hotel stood as a grand monument amidst the untamed wilderness, a symbol of refinement and grace. Its majestic architecture, towering against geothermal wonders, beckoned travelers from afar. The interior of the Fountain Hotel was a haven of luxury. Polished wooden floors gleamed under the soft glow of chandeliers, and ornate tapestries adorned the walls, each telling a tale of adventure and exploration. Guests adorned in their finest garments gathered in the grand hall, their voices melding into a harmonious blend of laughter and conversation. They spoke of the day's sightings, of bison herds roaming the plains, and the awe-inspiring eruptions of geysers. Into this world of splendor and excitement stepped Leroy R. Piper, a 36-year-old man from Ohio. With a demeanor more reserved than that of the exuberant guests around him, Piper moved through the hotel with a quiet grace, his eyes reflecting a deep, introspective soul. Despite his unassuming presence, there was an air of determination about him, as if he were on a journey not just through the park, but within himself. The dining room of the Fountain Hotel was a spectacle of culinary delight. Piper, seated alone, observed the room with a thoughtful gaze. As he dined, there was a sense of melancholy about him, a man seemingly wrestling with his thoughts. Yet he savored each bite as if imprinting the memory of the flavors and the place's ambiance upon his mind. After savoring his dinner, Piper purchased a cigar at the hotel's concierge desk. The lobby was abuzz with the evening's excitement, starkly contrasting with the serene darkness waiting outside. As he stepped into the fantastic night, the wilderness of Yellowstone enveloped him. Under the vast starlit sky, the sounds of the park's nocturnal life began to intensify. But as the hours passed, Piper did not return. His disappearance sent ripples of concern through the Fountain Hotel. A search was quickly organized, with detachments of cavalry combing the nearby woods and meadows. The news of Piper's disappearance spread like wildfire, igniting speculation and worry among the hotel guests and staff. As the days stretched into weeks, the mystery deepened. Theories abounded. Some whispered that he had lost his mind and wandered off, while others feared a more sinister fate. The hotel, once a place of joy and celebration, now carried the weight of a mystery. Piper's room remained untouched, a haunting reminder of his sudden absence. His belongings, a mix of personal items and travel gear, lay as he had left them, an eerie testament to his unexpected disappearance. The surrounding landscape of Yellowstone, usually a source of awe and inspiration, now seemed to hold a dark secret. The geysers and hot springs, once marveled at for their natural beauty, now appeared as potential hazards that might have claimed an unwary traveler. Rumors swirled among the hotel guests. Some spoke of seeing mysterious figures in the woods, while others recounted chilling howls in the night. Once cheerful and accommodating, the hotel staff moved with a sense of urgency and whispered concern. The Fountain Hotel's bear feeding station, a popular attraction for guests, became a focal point of the investigation. Some speculated that Piper might have ventured too close, meeting a tragic end, but no evidence was found. No sign of a struggle, no trace of Piper. As the search continued, the landscape of Yellowstone began to reveal its secrets, but none are related to Piper. The park's vastness, a mosaic of dense forests, meandering rivers, and rugged terrain, seemed to have swallowed him whole. Back at the hotel, Piper's disappearance became the subject of hushed conversations and furtive glances. Guests began to depart, the shadow of the mystery casting a pall over their stay. Once a beacon of Yellowstone's hospitality, the hotel now stood as a silent witness to one of the park's greatest mysteries. As the years passed, the story of Leroy R. Piper became a legend, a tale of a man who stepped into the night and the annals of Yellowstone's history, never to be seen again. His fate, forever entwined with the mystique of the park, remains an enigma, a haunting reminder of nature's unfathomable mysteries. In the heart of Yellowstone National Park, Shoshone Lake lay like a serene, unspoken secret amidst the wild. It was here in September 2021 that Kim Crumbo and his brother Mark O'Neill set out on a journey that would etch their names into the memory of the park forever. Their story, a blend of adventure and mystery, began under a sky that promised both tranquility and turmoil. Kim, 74, was a man of the waters, a soul woven from the threads of the countless rivers he'd navigated. His life, a rich tapestry of environmental conservation, resonated with the spirit of the wild. Mark, 67, shared this profound bond with nature. His quiet demeanor complemented his brother's, and together they were a duo united by water and wilderness. Their bond was deepened by their shared childhood, growing up with a love for water and adventure. Kim, a Navy SEAL veteran and seasoned river ranger, carried the wisdom of the rivers in his eyes. Mark, a guardian of national parks and an advocate for nature, wore his years of experience like a badge of honor. As they prepared for their journey, the brothers were unaware that this trip would be their last together. On a cool September morning, with the gentle hum of Yellowstone waking up around them, Kim and Mark set out on Shoshone Lake. The glassy surface of the water reflected their excitement, the canoe cutting through the stillness with each determined stroke. The surrounding wilderness, a vast expanse of pine and mystery, watched in silent anticipation. The lake, however, had its own secrets and perils. Despite their extensive experience, Kim and Mark soon found themselves at the mercy of nature's unpredictable moods. As they approached the Narrows, a notorious passage on the lake, the calm waters began to churn. The sky, once clear, was now a canvas of dark, brooding clouds. Back on the shore, a sense of unease lingered at their abandoned campsite. The crackling fire, once a source of warmth and comfort, now burned solemnly, its flames casting long shadows over the untouched supplies. The brothers, who had set out with laughter and stories, were now enveloped by the unforgiving embrace of the lake. The search for Kim and Mark was an arduous journey of hope and despair. As days turned into weeks, the relentless efforts of the search teams painted a picture of unwavering determination. The discovery of Mark's body, a heartbreaking moment, brought a devastating reality to the surface. The wilderness that had been their sanctuary was now a reminder of their tragic fate. Kim, however, remained elusive, his spirit seemingly one with the lake he loved. The search continued, but as winter's cold fingers crept over Yellowstone, hope faded like the last rays of the sun. Superintendent Cam Shawley, haunted by the loss and driven by a sense of duty, embarked on a solitary search, a testament to the unyielding nature of hope. The wilderness of Yellowstone, with its beauty and dangers, became a silent witness to the story of Kim and Mark. Their legacy, a tale of passion for the natural world and the unbreakable bond of brotherhood, lingered in the air, in the rustling of the leaves, and in the gentle lap of the waters against the shore. Their journey, marked by adventure and ended in mystery, remains a poignant reminder of nature's unpredictable power. In the heart of Yellowstone, the story of Kim Crumbo and Mark O'Neill lives on, a narrative of two souls forever intertwined with the wild, untamed spirit of Shoshone Lake.